watching Dante Boxing Nation.
Statue, give him guts. I told you I wasn't going away. You got your shot. Now give me mine.
I don't care what you rank. You don't get no shot, and I mean that.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Listen, it's time to give Lopez and his team some serious advice. If I were Lopez, I would stay as far away as possible from a microphone and a camera. Just like I always tell you, the most dangerous weapon in the world is a microphone and a camera. And we are learning every day there are two things that don't mix, and that is Teofimo Lopez and a camera. Because every time Lopez is near one, he sticks his foot in his mouth. I mean, every time this man picks up the gun, he shoots himself in the foot. So before I get into what Lopez just said recently, I want to make it very clear. If you guys go back and watch my videos talking about Lopez before he fought Lomachenko, I always gave Lopez the benefit of the doubt. I always told you guys that old media and all these racist fans, they're going to try to protect Lopez from the undefeated black fighters. But I said, because of the person that Lopez is, he's going to go after everyone to prove that he is the best. He's not the type of fighter that wants to be protected. This is what I said on my videos, guys. And boy, oh boy, was I dead wrong. And I found out how wrong I was as soon as he beat Lomachenko. So let's go ahead and put this all in order, and then I'm gonna tell you what he just recently said. So remember, after Lopez beat Lomachenko, he's at the press conference. Everyone is obviously asking him, who does he want to fight next? And now, first of all, it's important to note, his dad, when they asked his dad, who do you want your son to fight next? He didn't even mention Tank Davis or Devin Haney. He said, I want him to move up to 140. I want him to move up to 140. He can't make the weight anymore. I want him to fight the winner of Josh Taylor and Ramirez, right? But then when Lopez Jr. came out, he said the complete opposite. He said, I could still make 135 comfortably. He said, if Devin Haney or Tank Davis wants it, they can get it next. And then he says, but I don't think any of those guys are going to step to the plate. Right after Lopez says this, Devin Haney contacts Lopez immediately to start working on making the fight. A couple days after Lopez talked to Devin Haney, then Lopez comes out and surprisingly tells the whole boxing world he's not going to fight Devin Haney for at least another 3 to 5 years. Now we fast forward to present day. Lopez, he attended the Canelo fight. At the end of the fight, he runs into Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, he asked Teo, he said, so are you going to fight Kambosos next? Teo said, I'll fight any of your guys, right? And as soon as he says that, his dad jumps in and he says, give us 10 million and we'll fight Haney next. And Teo Jr., he agreed with his dad. And he said, yeah, let's do it. And it was so funny to me because Eddie Hearn said, wait, how much? He said 10 million. And Eddie Hearn is just standing there just like looking at him. You know, he doesn't want to obviously say, well, it sounds like you guys don't want the fight. But his reaction was priceless. When he said, wait, how much? After that, Eddie Hearn, he said something like, well, I don't want to breach contracts. The implication was Eddie was basically saying, I don't want to talk about money and stuff like that on camera. So that's when Teo kind of walked over to the camera and like, okay, like it was like he was telling them, okay, turn it off for a second. Let's discuss this off camera. So there was a cut in the video and then they start talking about predictions and talking about other fights. Eddie, he changed the subject. Now, if you guys want to watch the actual footage, you can watch the video on Fight Hype's channel. But let me tell you guys why this makes Teofimo look horrible. You just said a week or two ago, you weren't going to fight Devin Haney for 3 or 5 years. You said that he's not ready. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. He's not a big enough draw, etc., etc., etc. So if that is the case, why would you need $10 million to fight a guy that you feel is not on your level. Not only that, but $10 million, do you guys know that is more than double of what Lomachenko and Lopez made combined? Lomachenko made, I think, what, $3.2 million? And Lopez, he made anywhere from 1.2, but I think they bumped it up to 1.5 million. And he wants more than double of that to fight Devin Haney? It sounds like someone asked him to fight Mike Tyson in his prime. Because usually that's when people say, oh, no, if I got to get in there with that monster, with that wrecking ball, you better give me $10 million. Now, Devin Haney, he's not asking for $10 million to fight Kambosos. He's not asking for $10 million to fight Josh Taylor versus Ramirez winner, only when it comes to Devin Haney. This man made $1 million against Lomachenko, but he wants $10 million against Devin Haney. And to make it even crazier, did you guys know that Devin Haney made more money fighting against Gamboa than Teo did fighting against Lomachenko? In fact, Devin, he made twice as much as Teo did against Lomachenko. Devin Haney's net worth for 2020 is $5 million. And he only fought once this year, which was against Gamboa. His last fight was against Santiago, where he made $1 million. In 2019, his net worth was $3 million. That's higher than Teo's net worth in 2020. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and pull up Teofimo Lopez's entire payout for his boxing career. Okay, guys, so if you look at the graphic, you can see that Teo, he made $400,000 against Richard Comey. That was in 2019. Then it shows that he made $1.25 million against Vasyl Lomachenko. Now look at the bottom part. It shows what his total net worth is when it comes to his entire boxing career. It's $2.59 million. So this means Devin Haney made more money in 2019 than Teo has made in his entire boxing career. And that's only 2019, where he made $3 million. Remember, he made $5 million this year, 2020. And the reason why this is really important to note, because he just recently said in an interview that he's not only the A side, he's the A+ side. But of course, that's not what the numbers are showing. And we haven't even talked about Tank Davis's numbers compared to Teofimo yet. So Teo made a huge mistake when he asked for this $10 million, because now you are indirectly admitting that Devin Haney is worth more money than all the other guys that he may end up fighting instead of Devin. So if that's the case, then why are you not fighting Devin Haney next? It should be a no-brainer if you believe Devin Haney is worth $10 million. To say that Lopez has no interest in facing Devin Haney and he's trying to purposely price himself out is actually an understatement. You know, I'm gonna tell you guys a funny story. It's a true story that relates to this one. There was this racist Mexican guy in my comment section on one of my videos, and he was going back and forth saying little racial things. And then he started to talk about black people in Africa. So that's when I said to him, I said, you know your ancestors come from Africa, right? I said, the only difference from me and you is you left Africa a lot earlier than I did. So of course he started saying, that's some BS. I don't have any African blood and this and that and this and that. I said, okay, you know what? Maybe we can make a YouTube video about this. I tell you what, how about I send someone to your house and they do a DNA test and we find out if you're right or wrong. You know what this man said? He said, well, you're gonna have to give me $10,000 if you wanna do that, because if you're gonna make me look stupid, then you better pay me for it. And I said, whoa, make you look stupid? But I thought you knew what you were talking about. How can I make you look stupid if you know that I'm wrong? So the point was, he obviously threw out this big, huge number to basically say he didn't want to do it because he knew what the truth actually was. He was just a racist that wanted to say this stuff until he got confronted with the truth. So that man, he wanted 10,000 and Lopez wants 10 million. We know what time it is. Lopez is making himself look horrible right now, guys. He's making himself look horrible. So who else is he going to fight? Like I said, if he's not going to fight Tank, if he's not going to fight Devin Haney, once again, we know he's most likely going to fight Kambosos next. He doesn't want to say it, but we know he's most likely going to fight Kambosos. Like I said before, he ain't asking for no 10 million. He only wants it if he has to get in the ring with Devin Haney. For those of you guys who don't know, they sparred in the ring. And I'm telling you right now, the way Lopez is talking, man, Lopez must have really, really been impressed with what he's seen when it comes to Devin Haney. $10 million? This man is completely pulling a Keith Thurman. Do you guys remember when Errol Spence first started calling out Keith Thurman? Maybe about 5 or 6 years ago? Errol Spence was putting tremendous pressure on Keith Thurman, constantly calling him out. And just like Teofimo Lopez, at first Keith Thurman said, oh, he's not ready. You know, I would say he'll be ready around maybe 2017, 2018, right? Maybe a couple months later, once the pressure really got to Keith Thurman, and then you even had Floyd Mayweather that was pushing for the fight. This is when Keith Thurman came out of nowhere and said, okay, go ahead and give me 10 million. Give me 10 million and I will fight Errol Spence next. Now, mind you, he said this back in 2015. And you fast forward to present day, and finally, Keith Thurman, at least according to Keith, now he's willing to get in the ring with Spence. And now it's because he's no longer undefeated. He has nothing to lose anymore. He's not undefeated. He doesn't have a title anymore. So he's at Errol Spence's mercy now. Let me close out with saying this. You know, Lopez is feeling comfortable avoiding the likes of Devin Haney or even the Tank Davis situation where he's talking about now he's the A side, which I just explained. First of all, Tank Davis makes more money than him. Tank Davis, he sells out arenas. This is what the A side is about. The A side is not about who you believe has a better resume. It's not about who you think is a better fighter. It's about who sells more tickets, who is more of an attraction. That's what A side means. So like I said, Lopez is feeling more comfortable avoiding these fighters because he has the support of old media. A lot of people like Chris Mannix from DAZN, and the whole ESPN, the majority of old media, they're basically telling him, yeah, you don't have to fight these guys. You don't have to fight these black fighters, et cetera, et cetera. You can fight whoever you want. Matter of fact, that's exactly what DAZN's Chris Mannix told Lopez during the Canelo broadcast. He said, man, you can pick and choose whoever you want to fight. But we know when it comes to Floyd Mayweather, they'll call Floyd Mayweather a cherry-picking businessman. Even though Floyd Mayweather was beating guys that was on the top 10 pound-for-pound list, matter of fact, top 5 pound-for-pound list, before he had even hit 25. And is, Teo, he's enjoying having all of these people telling him you don't have to fight this guy, you don't have to fight that guy. The same people that are protecting you, they're telling you, I don't think you can beat these guys. You know, these undefeated black fighters like Devin and Tank, they're really dangerous, and we need you to keep winning. So don't end up getting in the ring with guys that may be better than you. These guys may beat you, Teo. So we're here to protect you from the guys that may be better than you. They don't have confidence that he's better than these guys. They don't have confidence in Teofimo. At least not against a Tank or a Devin Haney. Now, when a Teo cannot call himself the takeover, if he really doesn't want to take over the sport of boxing. In order to take over the sport of boxing, you got to be willing to fight everyone, not just Kambosos and Josh Taylor. I mean, last time I checked, Lopez, he never said that this was the Australian takeover. He never said this was the UK takeover. He calls himself the takeover, right? Over. If you have old media protecting you from fighters that they feel that you can't beat. Teo's biggest problems is he wants to talk like he's Terrence Crawford or someone like that, but he acts like he's more of a Canelo. And see, the difference from him and Canelo is Canelo doesn't do a whole lot of talking, so he doesn't stick his foot in his mouth as often as Teo does. Canelo's fans does it for him. But Teo, he got to be careful because he loves to talk in front of a mic. And every time he does it, he completely contradicts himself. We'll see what kind of year Teo has in 2021. I guess it's going to start with the Australian takeover against Kambosos. Let's see how it plays out. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. You know, I always say on this channel, pay-per-view fights should actually be free. And now the day has come where I'm about to hook you up with an app where you can watch all your pay-per-view events, boxing, UFC, etc. for free. I want to introduce Block TV, the best internet streaming television app out there. They provide over 3,600 channels, including HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, and Starz. They have a massive video on demand library with over 40,000 of the new release movies and the latest TV series. And it also includes DVR. So you're getting all of this for $34.99 a month. And once again, that includes free pay-per-view. So this one right here is a no-brainer, guys, because back in Las Vegas, I was paying damn near $200 a month for my cable. Those days are long gone now. So to get the app, make sure you guys go over to getblocktv.com and put in my promo code and get 30% off your first month. You also get a free month for every friend you refer. The promo code is DBNation. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Key Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to lodkey.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So if you want to get this hookup for my brothers out there in the UK and Europe, make sure you check out the Scalp This on Instagram. And for my brothers out there in the States, make sure you go ahead and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram.